All right, guys. So not only does Jason Blum want the Blumhouse tentacles all over Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street and all that kind of good stuff, they have already acquired the Saw franchise. And here we get some, I think, some good news for Saw fans. We have an article from Bloody Disgusting that comes to us by way of John Squires, and the headline reads, Jason Blum says James Wan will be, quote, hugely involved in the Saw franchise future. Now, when it comes to Saw, for me, I've only seen like the first 3 movies. I'm pretty lukewarm on the Saw franchise, but I know that you guys really dig the Saw franchise out there in the YouTube horror world. So, you know, anytime it comes to a new production company taking over a property, some people get nervous. A lot of people get nervous when it comes to Blumhouse. I get it for some reasons, and then other times I think, oh, this is just, you know, like any other narrative that keeps on getting pushed and pushed and pushed. More people are just going to start believing it just because they hear that Blum ruins everything, which I don't think is the case. But I do think it's very encouraging for Saw fans that James Wan would have any involvement. I think just that bit of news is encouraging, and then to hear that he's going to be hugely involved, I think that this is a like, hey, Saw fans, relax. James Wan is going to make sure that, you know, when we set sail on this new journey with Saw, that it's going to be smooth sailing for that ship. So, you know, but since I'm kind of a lukewarm fan on the franchise, I am curious to know what you guys think. So if you're watching live, let me know in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts on the Saw franchise and just on this news of, you know, James Wan and Jason Blum teaming up. And it looks like James Wan is going to definitely take the lead here. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments down below, and let's jump into the article here. The Saw franchise is now in the hands of Blumhouse in the wake of Saw X, with the company recently acquiring the franchise rights from Twisted Pictures. Blumhouse has acquired, quote, the library, the 10 previous movies, all of the ancillaries, roller coaster, escape rooms, all of it, end quote, as part of the deal, with a new Saw movie expected to be in development very soon. One thing we do know is that Saw franchise creators James Wan and Leigh Whannell will be helping to, quote, guide the future of the franchise, end quote, alongside Blumhouse and Lionsgate. James Wan says, quote, Saw holds a special place in my heart. Coming back to this world with a fresh perspective is thrilling and deeply personal. For me, this will mark a significant creative return to the franchise for the first time since the early days, and I'm very much looking forward to embracing the original script whilst pushing the legacy forward in bold, unexpected ways, end quote. And that all right there, I mean, that is kind of like that's like your politician answer, or just like a football coach. Like he's saying all the right things. So, and I do think he's sincere, because this really does come from, like he says, a special place in his heart. So he's not just taking this thing over, you know, he was there from the start. And the article continues, in a new in-depth conversation with Variety that was published this week, Jason Blum himself talks about Blumhouse's plans for the Saw franchise for the first time. Quote, it's really hard to make 10 movies in a franchise. I don't take that away from the original series producers, Blum notes, and I'm grateful to them for allowing us to continue. And he also says in the interview, quote, my creative outlook is what I always preach. Get the people who made the magic in the first place more involved. James Wan, who is the original director, will be hugely involved. That's how we're going to reinvent it, end quote. And guys, this tracks. I mean, if you just look at Halloween, whether or not you like the Blumhouse Halloween movies, he did exactly what he's saying here. He got the people who made the magic in the first place more involved. It's the first time John Carpenter came back to the franchise since Halloween 3, right? In Halloween 3, Carpenter did the music, and I think that's the last time he was directly involved until Halloween 2018. So, you know, just like I said before we dove into this, like, I think Blum, he kind of knows his role, and I appreciate the hell out of that. So the article rounds out here by saying, Wan, of course, directed the original Saw, written by and starring Whannell, but it's been a long time since Wan and Whannell have been directly involved with the franchise. Saw 3, way back in 2006, was the final film to have major involvement from the duo, with Whannell writing the screenplay based on an idea from he and Wan. The idea for that movie was to effectively end the Saw franchise, with the third installment killing off both Jigsaw and Amanda. Of course, that bold decision ended up having no real impact on the franchise's future viability. So, how about that? Let me bring up this little picture here. There we go. That's a nice little shot of Jigsaw, the little half face with Billy the doll. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of front loaded my opinion on this one, so I don't think I have much to say here other than I'm happy that James Wan is involved. I think that, Jason Blum knows how to handle these, legacy kind of IPs, these IPs that already have a foundation built. So I think this is great news for fans of Saw. Maybe this will spark something that makes me actually finish out this franchise, because I haven't seen all the movies. And maybe by the time they've got something rolling here with Blumhouse, I will be all caught up and ready to go. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. So let me know in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Let me know your thoughts down there. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we cover horror news all the time here. Movies, TV shows, comic books, regular books, video games. If it piques our interest or tickles our fancy, we're going to cover it right here. So hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing.